I have a new girlfriend, Matthew said flatly, avoiding my gaze. I'm going to live here with her, so I'm divorcing you. You'll go to my parents' house. For a moment, I couldn't even process his words. I don't understand what you're saying, I managed, my voice trembling slightly. He sighed, as if I were the one being unreasonable. I don't need you anymore, Noah. You can stay with my parents if you want to, be their breadwinner, their housekeeper, whatever suits you. Do you understand? My husband's cruel words echoed in the room, followed by the laughter of my in-laws. Their mocking voices filled the air like poison. I just stood there, frozen. These were people I had worked so hard to help, the ones whose debts I had spent sleepless nights paying off, the same people whose happiness had once meant so much to me. But now, looking at their faces twisted in smug delight, I felt something inside me go completely still. For the first time, I wasn't sad, I was free. Then you all need to leave, I said quietly, my voice firm but calm. Their laughter stopped abruptly. My mother-in-law blinked in disbelief, while my father-in-law frowned, clearly offended by the audacity of my words. Matthew stared at me like I had suddenly spoken a foreign language. But before we go there, let me tell you who I am. My name is Noah, a 32-year-old office worker. I've always been the type of woman who throws herself into work. After graduating from university, I joined a major company and spent the next 10 years climbing the ladder. Long nights, countless reports, early mornings. My dedication paid off. By my early 30s, I had become a department manager, one of the youngest in the company's history. My colleagues respected me. My boss often said, "You're going places, Noah," and I believed him. My subordinates looked up to me, and I loved guiding them, helping them grow. My professional life was everything I had dreamed of. But my personal life, that was another story. Since my college boyfriend, I hadn't dated anyone seriously. My life revolved around work, deadlines, and promotions. My friends often teased me that I'd marry my laptop before I married a man. One evening, a friend took pity on me and invited me to a small dinner party. "You need a break, Noah," she said, "maybe even a date." That's where I met Matthew. He was charming, with a kind smile and a way of speaking that made people feel seen. He was my age, had an easy laugh, and seemed genuinely interested in everything I said. We hit it off instantly. Conversations flowed naturally, and before I knew it, we were meeting for dinners, movies, and late-night coffee. Eventually, he confessed his feelings, and we started dating. He treated me with warmth and gentleness, and after a year, he proposed. I thought I had found the man who would stand beside me for life. When we got married, I was glowing with happiness. I felt like all the years of loneliness had been worth it for this one moment. Soon after, Matthew took me to meet his parents. "Oh, Noah, what a beautiful woman. We can't believe our Matthew found someone like you," his mother said with delight. His father nodded approvingly. "You're a lucky man, son." They were warm, welcoming, and surprisingly easy to talk to. I remember thinking how lucky I was, not just to have a loving husband but also such kind in-laws. During dinner, his mother asked, "Noah, will you keep working after the wedding?" "Yes," I said, smiling. "I love my job." "Oh, that's wonderful," she replied, clasping her hands. "It's so admirable for a woman to have ambition." Her words touched me deeply. Many of my friends had told me horror stories about mothers-in-law who demanded they quit work to serve their husbands. I felt grateful. Mine seemed supportive, even progressive. After our wedding, Matthew moved into my apartment, and for a while, everything felt like a dream. I loved coming home from work to find him waiting for me. We'd cook together, talk about our day, and laugh late into the night. But 6 months into our marriage, he came to me one evening with a serious expression. "Noah," he said, "I want to talk about something." "What is it?" "My parents are getting older. I've been thinking, it might be good for us to live together with them." "Live together?" I asked, a bit surprised. "Yes," he said softly, "they're alone, and I worry about them. They might need help soon." I nodded thoughtfully. My own parents were around the same age, but my brother and his wife lived with them, so I had no such concern. Matthew, on the other hand, was an only child. It was understandable. "Well," I said slowly, If that's what you want, I'm open to it, but do they have enough space for us? He hesitated, then smiled. I was thinking of renovating the house, turning it into a two-family home. It'll be cheaper than buying a new place, and we'll still have privacy. I thought about it. It wasn't a bad idea. His parents were kind, and with two separate living areas, I could still have my own space. All right, I said at last. Let's do it. His face lit up like a child's. Really? Thank you, Noah. My parents will be thrilled. And indeed, when his parents found out, they were ecstatic. His mother hugged me tightly. You're such a blessing, Noah, she said, tears in her eyes. We're lucky to have you in our family. I was touched. I truly believed we were one happy family. But that illusion shattered the day Matthew came to me again, this time, not with a proposal but a confession. He sat down nervously and said, Noah, I have to tell you something. My parents and I are in debt. Debt? I repeated, frowning. How much? He avoided my eyes. About $150,000. What? My voice rose before I could stop it. He rushed to explain. It started small, but things piled up: loans, interest, living expenses. My parents can't manage on their pension. I've been helping when I can, but it's not enough. I stared at him, my mind spinning. This was the first I'd heard of any of it. I need your help, Noah, he said softly. Can you help me pay it off? You're the only one I can rely on. I hesitated. Matthew, that's a lot of money. Between that and the renovation, it's nearly $250,000. I know, he said, taking my hand, but I love you. I love my parents. I'll repay you, little by little. Please, help me just this once. Looking into his pleading eyes, I felt my heart soften. I thought of all the kindness his parents had shown me, and of how much I loved him. All right, I whispered, I'll help. He hugged me tightly, whispering, thank you, Noah, you're my angel. At the time, I believed those words. I had no idea they would later use my love and trust to destroy everything I had worked for. I once asked my husband what his take-home pay was and requested to see his pay stubs. He stubbornly refused, brushing me off as if I had no right to ask. So, I never found out how much he earned, but I knew one thing for sure. The debt under his name had to be paid back, and somehow, I ended up being the one responsible for it. For the next year, I worked tirelessly, taking extra shifts, cutting back on every unnecessary expense, and budgeting down to the last cent. Every night, while my husband slept soundly, I sat at the kitchen table with my laptop, updating my spreadsheets and calculating how much progress I had made. Slowly, I watched the numbers shrink, feeling a quiet sense of accomplishment that no one seemed to notice. One weekend, my parents-in-law asked casually, so, Noah, how much do you have left to repay now? Their tone was light, almost teasing, as if it were a casual family topic instead of a mountain of debt I was carrying alone. Well, I said, choosing my words carefully, it's been about a year. We've paid off around $30,000 so far, so there's roughly $90,000 left. Their jaws practically dropped. What? You paid back that much already, Noah? My father-in-law exclaimed, his eyes wide with disbelief. That's incredible. At this rate, you'll be debt-free in 3 years. My mother-in-law actually teared up. You're such a good wife. Matthew is so lucky to have you. I smiled politely. Thank you. I'll keep working hard. Seeing their joy made my efforts feel worthwhile, at least for a moment. But that illusion shattered only a few days later. That evening, I was supposed to work late. I called Matthew to tell him I'd be home late, but as luck would have it, work finished earlier than expected. Feeling a bit cheerful, I thought I'd surprise him by coming home early and making dinner. I imagined us having a peaceful evening. I was wrong. When I stepped through the front door, I noticed my parents-in-law's shoes lined up neatly by the mat. Oh, they must be visiting, I thought. As I walked toward the living room, I heard laughter, then voices. Familiar voices. I stopped dead in my tracks when I heard my name. You really did well marrying that woman, Matthew, my father-in-law said proudly. I can't believe you found a woman with that much money. My husband's voice followed, dripping with arrogance. When I found out she worked for a big company, I made sure to charm her properly. I knew she'd be a good investment. They all laughed. My stomach dropped. My hands trembled as I clutched my bag tighter. Oh, come on. My mother-in-law chuckled. You're one of the people who created that debt in the first place. What? I'm the least guilty, Matthew argued. You're the ones who wasted money on horse racing. I only gambled a few times. I felt my heart sink lower with each word. These people, the ones I'd been working so hard to help, were mocking me behind my back. Finally, my husband's voice lowered. But it's all fine now. Once she finishes paying off everything, I'll just dump her. A clean break. Laughter again. Cruel, satisfied laughter. I froze. My entire body felt cold. The man I loved, the one I had sacrificed sleep, comfort, and savings for, had planned to discard me like I was nothing. After a few long, trembling breaths, I gathered myself. I couldn't let them know I'd overheard, so I slammed the door shut loudly and called out, "I'm home." Their laughter stopped abruptly. By the time I entered the living room, they were all smiling like nothing had happened. "Oh, Noah, welcome home," my mother-in-law said sweetly. "You must be tired. We were just about to leave." I smiled back, forcing the muscles in my face to cooperate. I didn't let them see my shaking hands. During dinner, I played the part of a happy wife. I listened. I laughed when I needed to, but inside, my heart was crumbling. That night, while Matthew was in the bath, I broke down. I cried quietly into my pillow, gripping the sheets until my fingers hurt. But when the tears finally stopped, something inside me hardened. Enough was enough. From that moment, I started preparing, carefully, secretly. I gathered documents, opened a new bank account, and made plans for life after divorce. I didn't want revenge, I wanted freedom. 3 months later, I told Matthew, with a bright smile, "I've finished paying off your parents' debt." His eyes widened. "What? You paid off all $150,000? But that should have taken years." "I had some savings. I decided to use it to clear everything at once," I replied calmly, showing him a bank book that appeared to confirm my story. He acted stunned, but I could see the greed sparkling in his eyes. "Wow, Noah, thank you. Dad's going to love this." Later that week, my parents-in-law came over to thank me. They praised me like I was some saint, showering me with fake gratitude. I smiled back, knowing exactly what I was going to do. Then, one evening, Matthew sat me down, looking strangely serious. "Noah," he began, "I'm sorry, but we need to get divorced." I blinked, pretending to be confused. "Divorced? What do you mean?" "I've met someone new," he said coldly. "I'm going to live here with her. You can move in with my parents for now. They'll take care of you." Before I could even respond, my parents-in-law walked in, smiling smugly. "Yes, that's right. You can move in with us. You can do the housework, and we'll charge you a little rent," my mother-in-law said with a sneer. For a moment, they all laughed, until I spoke. "Actually," I said quietly, "you all need to leave. This house belongs to me." Their laughter stopped instantly. I saw their faces drain of color. "What are you talking about?" Matthew stammered. I smiled faintly. "I bought this house with my savings and had the deed transferred to my name months ago, right after the renovation. You have no right to be here." The silence that followed was almost satisfying. "And one more thing," I added. "I never paid off the remaining $90,000 of your debt. The collectors will be in touch soon, with you, not me." My husband's jaw dropped. My in-laws looked ready to faint. You tricked us?" Matthew sputtered. "No," I said, standing tall. "I protected myself. You planned to throw me away after using me. Now you'll face the consequences." Their expressions twisted from shock to panic. My husband started begging. "Noah, please, don't leave me. My girlfriend only wanted me because I had money. She'll dump me if she finds out." "I don't care," I said coldly. "I'll be contacting my lawyer tomorrow. You'll pay alimony, and your lover will too. As for your parents, they owe me $60,000 for the payments I made on their behalf." Within months, it was all settled legally. I sold the house for $200,000 and walked away free. Between the sale, the alimony, and the debt repayment, I actually came out ahead, financially and emotionally. They, on the other hand, lost everything: their house, their money, their fake pride. Looking back, I realize I didn't just win financially, I reclaimed my dignity. Now, I live on my own, investing wisely and surrounding myself with people I can trust. I no longer work to impress or please anyone. Every dollar I earn, every quiet evening I spend in peace, reminds me of the woman I've become, strong, wise, and free from deceit. And for the first time in years, I can finally say, I'm truly happy.